So all the recorders that I tried to make were too long, so I'll try to make a really brief one. It's now 9:08 according to my time, so I'll make it hopefully like 20 minutes and yeah, start from there. Alright, defending 10-8. I'm gonna be half potting the flop when he instant checks. I think it's a pretty honest check when he insta checks on this board, but if he's like, I don't know, usually it's pretty honest when they insta check when they miss. Yeah, anyway, not gonna give him any free cards, and I'm gonna fold. Folding here. These guys are pretty passive. I'm gonna open Jack 9. You obviously it's not a standard open, but from the cut of Jack 9 also, but due to their passiveness, I guess I'm gonna be opening pretty wide, and then when they show resistance, I'm gonna be folding pretty wide. So here I think Jack 9 is a nice bet on the flop, folding a lot of overcards. And now after he called, I think I'm gonna go for a 3 barrel here. And on the flop, now he folds. You can call an ace high on the flop, which now he probably folds. And now when I would be barreling this ace card, definitely my value range would be still like king 10 and ace 10 and every ace that I bluffed and 4-5 suited and sets. So I'd be barreling it, but when he's donking here, I think it's gonna be always a strong hand and not gonna be doing anything against it. Here I'm gonna call, and I think I'm gonna be 3-betting this. Right now, yeah. This guy does 4-bet. It's pretty low. 13 4-bet, but he does 4-bet sometimes. And he goes ahead and 4-bets now. 2.5x. I'm gonna fold. And again, pretty loose open, but this guy is very passive, and this guy is also very passive. Because this guy accelerate is very passive, then it's not a slam dunk bet here, because he will have a lot of queens like ace queen and king queen suited that most people would 3-bet, but because he has such a low 3-betting range pre-flop, so he still will have a lot of very good hands to be calling down with. Here I'm gonna be checking this 8 combo, and now I'm going to be checking it again. I guess I should bet it somewhere because they're not bluffing, and he did not bluff Jack 6-9 offsuit, so I don't know. They're just not bluffing, so checking to bluff catch loses its value. Alright. This guy would be, we're gonna be 3-betting here. This guy is pretty, no, I'm not gonna go 3-betting here. Pretty tight. Here I will bet this queen. Like we're gonna have some queen 9, queen 10. I might wanna be checking them on the flop as queen jack, I think. It's a part that gets bet. Fold here. Gonna be calling this, especially when the weaker player has such a short stack of like 40 big blinds, and when he doesn't fold, I just am in a shit situation. Let's fold on the flop and watch the action unfold here. Sometimes I would 3-bet 9-10 suited, and alright, maybe it would have worked out. This is definitely a weaker player, and ace-9 suited can go either way. This guy is pretty tight with his stats, so I'm just gonna flat. And with my ace high and backdoor flush, I think I can check here on the flop, repping not much, hopefully not seeing any Broadway cards, which will be most of his give ups on the flop, or like checking. I don't know if he gives it up. Now I can already bet for like slight protection, and obviously I have the nut flush draw, so I'm gonna bet, and if he calls, I'm gonna check behind river and expect to lose sometimes against a better ace high. But now when the flush draw came on the river, I think I'm gonna be betting it pretty big, like something like this, because he will just have ace highs most of the time and he's gonna fold anyway. But sometimes they'll tell themselves like, I look very weak, and like maybe he's just bluffing, and my range can be very wide for like betting flop, betting turn, betting river. I would have a lot of gut shots, a lot of bluffs here. Even though I have the heart, I'm not gonna bet, and gonna call 2 barrels. When they insta bet and kind of biggish, it's not the best case. And against this sizing, don't think I have a raise when the flush came. Even though he doesn't think I have a flush, I might be able to raise here for value, but yeah. So this guy, he had an open-ended straight draw. He had an up and down straight draw actually. Alright. And he tries to just bet for no apparent reason on the river, but on a small sizings. So I think it's pretty much safe to say that he's cheating on sizings here. And I'm gonna fold this hand, but it's not gonna be the worst check raise with a backdoor flush draw and a backdoor straight draw. But on the flush draw flop, well, just 5 high, it's like whatever. Definitely gonna bet here and do it on the bigger sizing. Main bluffs will be like queen high, jack high cards, and my main value region will be these overpairs, some sets, and even some ace highs, depending on the range of the big blind. If it's super wide, then definitely gonna bet ace high for value, but against most players in this pool, I'm not gonna do it because they just give up. They don't defend their big blinds, which makes it pretty nice to be opening wide to steal the big blinds here. But having said that, the rake is just huge, so that cools the incentive to be opening so wide. But I am gonna be opening like jack deuce suited because they just give up enough for it to be a check. Here, this I'm gonna be. I think check raising is a bit of an overplay, but still my hand is pretty nice. I can bet it. Like I'm not gonna check raise it. It's not combo draw. It's not a nutted flush draw. And I think against his bet call range, I'm doing pretty bad. But against his overall range, a bet would be really nice folding all the overcards. Stankovic, I don't know. This guy doesn't seem to fold to three bets, and I'm not gonna do it. And I have a hand that plays nicely. It plays nicely three-way, but it plays even better more deep. And unfortunately now I cannot call this with another player. Alright. Easy fold, I would say, without reads besides this player probably being on the needier side. So I'm gonna fold. And so this board is definitely hits my range better. And I have queen high, so it would be nice to get into. This hand doesn't really get worse hands to fold, but it's nice when he folds his two cards that can hit. Maybe it's better to check it with specifically queen 9, because we will be actually no. I like the bet. It's kind of like for protection. And this guy is a pretty aggressive player. I think calling will be the safer option, especially with probably a passive big blind. And here against this unknown and with this sizing, gonna be 3-betting this hand. And he calls, I think. We haven't check on the flop. And now he has more suited cards, so I don't see him having so many spades. But and I wanted some protection for my 9. But now when he's like auto ripping it, this is a little bit fold and call here. He's checking, and I don't really think I need much protection here. My one concern is like an ace, and we have an easy call against this third sizing, and another easy call even though he bet $1, and he tried to value us. So this player is like very loose, and also he 2x the small blind with 10-3, so he's probably leaking on sizing here. And also the fact that he double barreled the 310 shows that it probably points that he's pretty aggressive, and he does a 3-bet for me. This ace four. It probably says that he's pretty aggressive and knows to value bet thinly because it's mostly aggressive players who can value bet these kind of hands. This guy is really tight. I'm not gonna fold tens, but I really don't like it. And we have an easy check fold on the flop. Here I'm gonna be betting the flop because he does have some flushes and he does have some pairs that has a flush draw here, as we said we're gonna fold. And now I'm still gonna be betting on the smaller size because our range would like not want to be barreling so much, so big. We don't have just flushes. Our hand wants to bet, but our range might need some protection, and unfortunately he folds. I don't know about sizing how to play this spot, but and here I'm going to be 3-betting, even though this guy looks somewhat passive, somewhat tight, but and he instant calls. So when they instant calls in these kind of spots, I would usually consider them to have some medium pairs, but he might surprise me. So this board, when I think this guy has like a medium pair, I think I like betting here, even though I can be tricky and like check it, but I think betting is the better option. This guy probably folded his medium pair, and this guy I think ripping it is nice. Yeah, I'm gonna be ripping it. Might get a flush draw to call, some worse king to call. I think against this two small barrels I can be check raising here. And we get super lucky. And I guess we're gonna rip it. Not rip it, but bet pretty big. Maybe we should have ripped it. Alright, probably, yeah, he has fucking kings. Wow. So he bet small because he wanted. Alright, so it's nice to be a donk and get lucky. He totally, yeah, I guess with his somewhat of more passive stats, I should be. I'm probably not winning here ever with this my ace jack, but yeah, should have tried to bluff it at a certain point, but never mind. Alright, this is the guy we want to be playing pots with. So I saw that this guy is pretty nitty, but it was on a not a big of a sample. So nits, when they bet here like that, it's probably not gonna be very weak. Like small on the flop, small on the turn, like weak like those guys that try to bluff cheap. And this check raise is only good against somebody that tries to bluff cheaply, and we're gonna get him off his better bluffs, or some of it is just like bluffs that we cannot call if he bets small again on the river here. Alright, gonna wrap it up. Do want you guys to be . I'll be checking here. And folding. And again, this is like usually a very easy call, but against these players, I think I can easily fold it. Like against a player that constructs his big blind 3-betting range correctly. Absurdly, I'm just folding 10 jack suited, the nicest hand in poker. But the guy is fucking 3-betting 3% and 2% against early positions, so I'm just gonna run into queens plus ace king suited probably. Alright.